Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. I am a fourth year teacher that just moved from first to second grade. And today we're gonna be talking about how I make my weekly slides for my classroom. So I've been trying to make more relatable content on YouTube. Obviously the summer is dedicated to classroom setup and transformations and projects, but I'm really bad at doing YouTube in the school year because I don't know what you guys want to see. So I've been polling Instagram and asking. Last week y'all wanted a Wonders video breaking down how I teach Wonders, how I structure it, how I organize it, what I use, what I don't use, etc. So that's posted. If you missed it, go check it out. But I am now going to be doing a video on my weekly slides. Is that mine? Sorry about that. It's almost time for the school day to start, so there's a lot of people here and they're just coming in. Perks of trying to film before school. So I am going to just show y'all how I make my slides. I think I've said this before on Instagram or TikTok, but I just create a template that I make a copy of every week, so I always can go back to the slides from the previous weeks or even the previous years, so that it's easier to pull information that I need. Like if I didn't get to something last week and I want to do it next week, instead of just recreating the same template and like constantly editing it, I just make a copy of it so that I always have kind of like the paper trail, if that makes sense. So this is what my 2022 to 2023 drive looks like, and in this I have a folder called slides, and as you can see I make the weekly slides and I just edit the dates so that I can always see, like if I wanted to find something from last year in September, October, I would have that. This is just for this year, so I only have like, I don't know, it looks like 12. But here's my slides template. I just right click that and hit make a copy, and then I edit the name of it. All right, so I changed the name of it. It's for next week. And then the first thing I always do is I go through and delete anything that I don't need for next week. For example, next week is Veterans Day, so we do not have Friday. So I'm just automatically gonna go ahead and delete those slides because I do not need them. Next, after I have like all the days, so I got rid of Friday because we don't have school next week, I always go through and I edit the morning messages first, because that's just like, I go through kind of the sequence of the day, like what happens in the order. So I'm like, all right, edit the morning messages. Then you're going to put in your math slides because I teach math first. Then I do science, so I go in and I put in all of my science objectives. I don't use science slides, but I do have the objective posted in my slides, so I go through and I do the science objective. Then I do my quiet time slide because that happens next in the day. Then I put in any Wonders slides that I need because that happens next in the day, just like timeline wise, like that's the order of my day. And then the last thing I do is my closing question slide. So I'm just gonna show you guys what that looks like. I don't know if this is gonna be helpful or not, but we're gonna give it a try. All right, this is what my morning message always looks like. It just says good morning, the date, what our special is, and then some sort of like either how many days you've been in school or something we're gonna learn today or something that we're doing that's exciting. And then I always sign it with my name. I just edited all 4 of these because I don't have school on Friday, so I just had to do 4. That took me like literally 2 minutes. All right, flash forward like 7 hours. It is now after school. I started filming this like 5 minutes before school, and I was like, that was unwise. Why would I start doing that? So all I did was the morning messages before school. Now I'm gonna show you what I do after school. It is 3:50, so let's see how long it takes me. The next thing I do, because I go in chronological order, is I get my Ready Math slides. What's great about my new school is that they literally have all of the slides for math, each unit by lesson in a shared drive. So I literally just go to lesson, I think we're in lesson 8 right now. Yep, I literally just pull up the slides on here and copy and paste them into my slides. So this should take literally 2 minutes. All right, again, we have a field trip on Tuesday and we have no school on Friday because it's Veterans Day, so I didn't need to do any slides for Tuesday, Friday, only Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, so that literally took 2 minutes. Also, technically going down in my slides, the thing that comes after morning meeting is our daily affirmations, but I use the same ones every single day. So like if Mondays is important, loved, smart, special, kind, then next Monday, those will be the same 5. And then they just switch, there's 5 new ones every day. I keep that in my slides template, like my hard copy, so that I don't have to transfer those over every week. So they just stay the same. What I do next is, now that I have my math slides, I like to put up my math objective because I'm really bad at like posting it on the wall. So I just put it in my slides. My admin says that that's fine to do. So I put it in my slides. So I go through and I get my students' math book and I look to see what page numbers we are using for each day. So on my math objective slide, I also put the page numbers that they need to rip out. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, and this is what my math slide looks like. Again, this is already in the slide deck. Bitmoji, math, like the font, everything's already in there. I just plug in the new math standard for each day, and then I put the page number that they need to have for those days so that when they come to my small groups, they can be ready for me. All right, chronologically, next is science. Again, I don't really use slides for science because ours is very like experimental, like it's very like hands-on with the students. We're not really like going through like a PowerPoint or anything. In social studies, we usually do use slides because like I'm teaching something that's not as hands-on, but with science, I have like all of the materials like physically, so we don't really do slides. We use FOSS, so I just go to investigation 4, which is what we're doing next week, and I plug in the standards because that's the only slide that I need for science is the standard. When I was saying standard, I totally meant objective or goal. I don't really call them standards. I'm like, here's our goal for today, or here's our objective. So this is our objective for science this week, and I just pulled that straight out of the manual. Next, chronologically, comes recess and lunch, so I don't do any slides for that. And then actually they go right to special, so again, no slides for that. Then they go to student support, which is like out of the classroom for most of them. So again, no slides for that. So next would be quiet time. And quiet time, I've tried a lot of things. I've done just quiet music. I've done yoga. I've done a read aloud. But this year, because again, every student, pool is different. But this year, my students really like directed drawings. So I try and find 5-minute or quicker directed drawings on Art Hub. And I just plug those into a slide. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, here's my quiet time slides. Again, they just love the Art Hub one, so I literally just embed it right into the slide so that I can make it big screen. And I try and do ones that are 5 minutes or shorter so that it doesn't take a lot of our afternoon. Next, chronologically in my slides would be the ELA portion of our day. And so I just have to plug in the standard for that because I only use Wonders slides. It's the program we use is Wonders. I only use slides for that when we're introducing new vocabulary words, and next week we're not. So all I have to put in is the standard, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, here is my ELA standard, being able to spell words with digraphs next week, so that is embedded now as well. And the last part of our day is being able to do our closing question. One way to edit this really quickly is, well, one, I already have the slide there, but I have a tab bookmarked that was 100 would you rather questions for kids. So I've been pulling from that as our closing question of the day for Closing Circle. And then I also have a song for the end of the day. So I will show you what it looks like to have my Closing Circle slide. And then I'll also show you an example of like what our song slide looks like. All right, here is our closing question for one day. For example, would you rather have a pet tiger or pet shark? They sit in a circle at the end of the day and we all get to share. And then here's an example of like what our end of the day song might look like. We all sing that together. I have a closing question and a song for each day. And that's really it. So it is 4:10 right now. So that took me 20 minutes after school and 5 minutes before school. So 25 minutes to do the slides. Granted, we do have 2 less days next week because Tuesday's mostly a field trip, so I didn't have to do a lot of academic slides in there, and Friday's no school, so a little bit quicker than normal, but it also felt a little bit longer because I was vlogging it. So granted, every time I stop here and I talk about it, it's adding time. So roughly, I always say it usually takes me 30 minutes tops to do my slides for a week. So you can do the math. That's pretty accurate, I'd say. I will say that sometimes throughout the week, I do add things to the slides. So like maybe I decide next week I want to do some slides for ELA. I will add those throughout the week. So I'm not saying that what I produced today is exactly what I'll use next week. It just kind of gives me the foundation. I also do write written plans still, like a quick little just synopsis of like, oh, Monday we're doing unit 2, week 4, day 1. So some people just do slides and they don't do written plans. Some people only do written plans. I like both because I like to know like, here's my layout of the whole week and here's my slides. So that's just how I do things. If you're wondering how many slides I have, just out of curiosity, I have 106 for next week, and that is without having like many slides on Tuesday and obviously no slides for Friday. Just to compare, if I go to my slides from this week, which was a full week, let's see how many I have. All right, so this week I had 181. So obviously on a 3-day week, I only had 106. On a 5-day week, I had up to 181. 181 seems a little high. I'm gonna go back even one more week just to see. The week before that I had 148. So it really just depends, to be honest. Anywhere from like 100 to 180, it sounds like. You can make them as simple or as complex as you want. It's really truly just whatever works best for you and your kids. And that's a wrap on how I make slides. Again, anywhere from 100 to 180 slides, takes me about 30 minutes. And I think the reason it's so quick for me this year is because all the educational, like academic slides that I need are already curated for me, and I just copy and paste, and everything else is just editable. My closing circle question, my morning message, my quiet time slide, my daily affirmations are already there, my rotation slides are already there. So work smarter, not harder is my montage for you. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to DM me on Instagram or comment down below. I'm happy to do a part 2. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys want to see next. Bye.